Hello, on this video we'll see how to integrate Gatling Enterprise with Jenkins. But first, let's see the website we will load test today. So the website we will load test is Gatling e-commerce website. So it's some e-commerce website. You can buy ePag, Blue Stuff, Sketchel, etc. Now let's set up Jenkins. So first, what you need to do is going on Gatling documentation, on CI/CD tool, and on Jenkins. After that, you need to download the Jenkins plugin and save. Okay, so now we have everything we need for Jenkins. Now let's go into our Jenkins instance. So now let's go into Manage Jenkins. After that, we need to go into Plugin, Advanced Plugin, choose a file. Now you need to choose your file. So the plugin we have downloaded just before. Okay, and deploy. Now we just need to wait for the installation of the plugin. Okay, so now our plugin is installed. Now what we need to do is go into Gatling Enterprise. So in order for Gatling Enterprise and Jenkins to talk, we need to create an API token. So now let's go into API token, create a new one. So we'll call it Jenkins. On organizational, we'll do start because Jenkins need to be able to start a simulation. Our team will choose a default team because that's in charge of this pipeline, etc. And on role, I will choose start. Now you need to copy this API key and let's go back into Jenkins. Now on Jenkins, we need to go to Manage Jenkins, Credential, System, Global Credential, and add a credential. It will be global, and on kernel username, it will be secret text. After on secret, you put your API key. On description, you can say Gatling API token, and on ID, you just put Gatling API token. After that, you click on create. Okay, so now let's go back into Manage Jenkins. System will go just at the end of this page here. So now here you need to specify the token we have created. After that, we don't need to put something in API token text. On Gatling Enterprise address, you need to put this one, so the default one, and same from API. After we click on save, and that's it. Now we need to create a new simulation. So let's go back into the ID. Okay, so now that we are on my IG, what we see is just a small Gatling simulation. So what we do is going into ecommerce.gatling.io on /home, and we check if the number of failed requests is lower than 1%. And after on the setup, we just send 10 users at once. Now we need to send this to Gatling Enterprise. So first, we just need to do /maven Gatling Enterprise package. So now on target, we see that we have a new jar file. And now let's go into Gatling Enterprise to create our simulation. Okay, so now we are on Gatling Enterprise. We need to click on simulation, create a simulation, test as code, create a new package. This one will call Jenkins ecom, which is a team, which is default team because they're in charge of this application. And we push our package. So it will be on video, Jenkins, target, e-commerce. Okay, so now we give a name to our simulation. So ecom, we choose our simulation, which is master. After, I will take a location in Hong Kong and Paris because it's where we done the most of our sales. Also, if you want, you can add some parameters into a simulation. So for example, you have Java system properties or environment variables. And also you can do stop criteria. For example, you can stop the simulation if you have a high number of failed requests, for example. Now we click on save. Okay, so we have our simulation, which is called Jenkins ecom. Now let's go back into Jenkins. So now we will create a new job on Jenkins. Okay, so now let's click on new item, Jenkins ecom, freestyle project, and okay. After that, we go down down, and on build step, we add the Gatling Enterprise plugin. Okay, so now we just need to find our simulation, which was called Jenkins Ecom. So we select it, we say save, and now we have our simulation. So I will say build now. So now we see that we have a Gatling Enterprise run. So now let's go back into Gatling Enterprise. On Gatling Enterprise, we see that we have a new run. So come from API token, which is Jenkins. So now the simulation is building. We will wait for the simulation to build, deploy, and inject. Okay, so now the simulation is finished. We see that we have our session is successful. Also, we see the number of requests by second and also the response time percentage. Now, if I click on report, we have much detailed information. So, for example, the response time percentage, we see that it only takes like at mean 112 milliseconds, which is pretty good for an application. Also, you can see information about your DNS, so the DNS results in by second, for example, etc. Now, let's go back into Jenkins. Okay, so now we see that we have a link to go to Gatling Enterprise, so the one. Also, we see that our assertion was successful. We also see the assertion we made. Also, we see the number of concurrent users, which was 10, the number of requests, etc. So now that we saw how to integrate Jenkins with Gatling Enterprise, now see you in the next video.